Lesson 65 is about proportions with mixed numbers and using proportions with similar triangles. Now, in this problem, we have 4/9 over x is equal to 2 1/5 over 1 3/4. This is an example of a proportion, sort of like 1/2 is equal to 5/10. But this proportion is a little bit more complex because we have fractions and we have mixed numbers. Now, in order to solve this, what we're going to do is the same thing that we would do with a more simple proportion like 1/2 equals 5/10. Remember, we have cross products. If we multiply 2 times 5, we get 10. And if we multiply 1 times 10, we get 10. And this helps us to figure out our answer to any proportion problem where we don't know one of the values. So what we're going to do is we're going to use those cross products. What we're going to say is 4/9 times 1 3/4 equals something. We don't know what it is. And that's going to be the exact same value that x times 2 1/5 is equal to. Let's do the multiplication. So we have 4/9 times 1 3/4. We've got to change that to an improper fraction. That's 7/4. And that's going to be equal to, well, if we go the opposite way, we're going to get 2 1/5. That's 11/5 times x. So if we want to solve, let's go ahead. We can figure out the answer to the left side. The 4's cancel. They both become 1's because 4 divided by 4 is the same thing as 1 over 1. So the left side is going to be equal to 7/9. So 7/9 is equal to 11/5 times x. And we're just going to write 11/5 x. We don't need the dot because this also means multiplication. Now to find out what our answer is, we have to undo the multiplication of 11/5 times x. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. That's 5/11. Because the 5's cancel and the 11's cancel, so we now know what x is. But what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we're going to have to multiply the left side by 5/11. We can't simplify anything before we multiply, so our answer must be x is equal to, and we're going to switch the way we write it, doesn't matter which side the x is on, 5/11 times 7/9. 5 times 7, that's 35. And 11 times 9, that's 99. We've got our answer. X must be equal to 35/99. We found that answer by using cross products, changing our mixed numbers to improper fractions, and then multiplying by the reciprocal in order to simplify to our answer. Let's look at one more example. In this one, we've got similar triangles. And similar triangles, well, find x and y. Similar triangles, these problems will tell us that the triangles are similar. So I'm going to add a piece into the directions. Find x and y. Assume the triangles are similar. If we're assuming they're similar, similar means they have the same proportions, except one is bigger than the other. If they were congruent, that would mean they were exactly the same. So if they're similar triangles, what that means is our diagonal side across, 2, is going to be similar to our diagonal side across, 3. Both of these, okay, if we look at the 2 and we look at the 3, what we're saying is the 2 goes with the 3. Then we're saying that the 4 is going to go with the x, because those both have the same angle. So this is going to be equal to the 4 and the x. Now the way we can figure this out, well, 2/3 is equal to 4 out of x. Well, if you double 2, you get to 4. So if you double 3, you get to 6. So x must be equal to 6. And we found our first answer. Now if we want to figure out y, well, we know the 5 goes with the y, and we'll make 3 tick marks because we have 1, 2, and 3 around. 1, 2, and 3 around to show similar positions of our triangles. Well, we know that the 2 goes with the 3 again, so the 5 must go with the y. And now we can find our answer. Well, we know our cross products. We know 3 times 5 is going to be equal to 2 times y. 3 times 5, that's 15. 15 is equal to 2y. Now, what number times 2 is equal to 15? Well, we can divide by 2 on both sides to find half of 15. Half of 15, well, that must be 7.5. And we've got our answer. We can report it as a decimal, or we can report it as a mixed number. We'll report it as a decimal today. So y? Y is equal to 7.5. Whoops, we wrote y twice. Y is equal to 7.5. We've got our final answers. We can move on to our next question. We'll work on our next questions during lesson practice, page 207 in our next class. Make sure you've got your notes complete, and I'll see you soon.